Split River Junction Battle Axe Psalms by Bedard. It was a long ago starry night when and where the drumming bearers of Portent and Prodigal came to the ungoverned and circumvented decision that time itself was of a non-linear, lost and found climature's elemental walk among and along the lost roads into and out of scientine arts of the twice-pounded mallet. Last and first of these were the Northlanding and savagely nomadic wanderers of ever-watching steeps. These rugged terrains were filled with dark and endless tunneled caves, as if the dust-perfumed myth-bearers the outside world knew to be helmsmen and women temporarily home from otherworldly climitudes, erudite in the wealth of long nights, endlessly in temperament. Endless in temperament. The Steeplanders were governed, lead, and last of all legended and numbered among shield and wielding sword, born into existence through the mighty forge of fearless metal. Definition, conceptuality, and encyclopediacity, besides three higher forms of word-for-word hierarchical understanding, had achieved a translucently material existence, and the six could be seen almost nightly walking in and out of stone-lit gardens, darkly interiored, portrait-hung, and intricate layered labyrinths, and God-kept gates before old, half-ruined, gossamer-chambered homesteads. Motion and stillness being one, lit one another's candled wicks, looking with Dante-esque eyes into eerie rooms where within sculpted men and women sitting in chairs around ornate tables slowly drew breath and began realizing Portent life within. The savagery of the Highlanders would never, by the middle or lower land living many, be forgotten, as might have been a bowl of clay left upon dignity's immaterial self. Churches, temples, and mosques were daily filled with praying women, men, and children, and the roadsides were thickly sown with row upon row of marked, weather-beaten, and rose-decked wide of gate roses laid by suffering kinfolk in unabating grief and sorrow. The day that followed as preceding night was actualized into a naked and noetic epistemology's day before. The beat of 100-fold drums, the strike of the keyboard and lyre, the piping of the universal reed swallowed whole each passing moment, as ebb and flow exchanged place, time, and fellowship with the very water rolling it across eternity's cross and sword sands. Intricacy and monosyllabic, united as would gate and homestead, cellared as if by shelf-stacked wines left by the Denmarkian porches of ear, mercy and kindness, proverbed, psalmed, and Solomon sang with glass-dressed breaths, ageless, of the day, and infinite circled and rising flame, crossed swords, smoke rings inhaled by solitary clouds, brisk winds held captive and corked bottles, salt of heaven, each man and woman with a dire need for loss and gain to shatter the vestige glass. As would forbidden alchemy draw drink from omnipotent wells, near and far, the lower-lying landscape walked themselves among their inhabitants in mute and profound respect. Idolatry of stone found itself invested prayer to the god it had previously disowned. The very stones gripped their own weights with warring hands, as the days, nights, and noons drove wheels of burged ice through walls of sleeping brick. One of the dark-hooded men among the steeplanders was, in actuality, an insurgent. He hadn't intended this to come to pass, but one morning he woke from a dreamless sleep, finding his physical form to be newly translucent. And that's the first part of the book I'm writing, dedicated to my mother and Jennifer Aniston, and my brother.